Well, it's first week of recruiting, and I'm here with y'all. So that means we've had a good year. This is awesome to have a press conference this week. Like I said, that means that we're playing for our championship, and really proud of our team. Great season, 11-1. This football team has been a lot of fun to coach. Proud of our staff. Everybody is well documented, by everyone, what all we lost off of this team, or last year's team. And, to see this group, go back to work, obviously coming off a national championship, and to see them go back to work in January and embrace a new journey, new challenges, and to watch the competition unfold on our practice field and fall camp has been fun. Some of the new guys that have come in and emerged, it's been just a joy to be around this team and just watch them find ways to win games. We're kind of what I thought we would be, and just proud of them. I mean, it's like I said, not many people picked them to win the division, but we got that done, and obviously, really excited that we were able to win our state championship as well. So, we've hit 3 of our goals, and we got 2 left. So, we'd obviously like to go 5 for 5 on those goals. Usually good things happen when we do that. But we got a big challenge this week with Miami. Congratulations to Miami. What a year they've had. This is a really good football team. This is the way it should be. It's a championship game, and you got the best team from the Coastal and the best team from the Atlantic. It's been earned on the field by both teams, and now you got 4 quarters to decide who's going to be able to, stake claim to being the ACC champion for 2017. So it's a great matchup. Defensively, they are really good. I mean, they look like Clemson. It looks like our practice tape when I watch this defense. I mean, they got some cats up front now. These guys, there's a bunch of pros. 9, 99, 87, 33, 97. I mean, they got a lot of them. They are really athletic, big, heavy-handed, well-coached defensive front, and then, backers can fly, big physical guys that can run, and speed on the back end. So they're a complete defense. It's going to be a challenge at all 3 levels. They lead the nation in turnover margin. They lead the nation in sacks. They're second in the nation in tackles for loss. And I think we're kind of right there behind them, or right there with them in just about every category defensively. So you got 2 great defenses going against each other, and then on the flip side, offensively, they can run. They're very balanced. First of all, incredibly balanced. This is as balanced a football team as we've played all year. And that presents problems. When you have a team that can play with balance, it challenges you. And so they've not been one-dimensional at all. They're a team that hangs their hat on being able to run the football and play action and the boots that come off of that. So, that's a challenge. They've got, I think, 4 out of 5 offensive linemen back that started for them last year. A lot of experience in the offensive line. I love this running back. This little number 24 now. He's a baller. He is a really good player. A huge loss for him with the tight end. It's really unfortunate. You just hate that for the young man. He is a great player, 23. Obviously he got hurt, but they got bunch of dudes outside. They got some guys that can run. They got size. So it's a great matchup. I'm very impressed with this quarterback. He's made a lot of plays with his legs. He's very athletic. I think Mark's done a fantastic job in giving them a chance to win week in and week out with a great plan. And they've stuck to the plan. You know, they've found ways every single week to move the football, and especially in critical situations, in games where they've had to have drives, they have made big plays. 82 is a great receiver outside. Number 4, number 3, them little guys can fly. So, you know, they got a couple big bodies guys. 18 is one of them. So, just a lot of guys to choose from. And again, what you'd expect to see when you're in a championship game. I mean, it's just the way it's supposed to be. So you know it's going to be a game of a few plays. You know, probably going to come down to that turnover margin and big plays. That's usually what decides championship games. And you know, we all understand that. And then special teams. You know, Barrios, and not to mention Barrios is the leading receiver, but he's also a great returner. So, I mean, he's a guy that's going to present some challenges for us that we've got to have a plan for. He's made plays on everybody. So he's a really, really good football player that is a senior, veteran, smart, savvy guy that you know, is a matchup issue. So a lot to prepare for getting ready for this group, but really excited about it. Should be a great crowd. It's good to be back in Charlotte. I think it's a sellout already and all that type of stuff. So game day and you know, whatever comes with that, it's fun. Be great. It's 4 quarters, man. 4 quarters away from having a chance to go back to the playoff, and you know, that's what we're all shooting for.
Coach, you've known Mark Richt for a long time. Your first game at Clemson was against him back in 2003. You coached his son, of course. How has that relationship kind of evolved over the years, and do you think moving down to Miami has kind of reinvigorated him as a coach?
Oh, I don't think there's any question. I think it's a great move for him. I mean, all he did was win at Georgia. I mean, he's just all he's ever done is win. You know, sometimes you know, I know he came up short a couple times in getting to the national championship, but oh Lord, there's a long line of that. It's hard to do that. That's rare, and everything's got to go right for that to happen. But he's a great coach, and I think it was a great hire for them, great fit. He has obviously a very good understanding because of his background, and he's been able to really pull it together and really give them some structure and identity and just kind of reunite Miami, their fan base, their former players. You know, so it's been good to see. I think it's great for our league, and you know, I guess his second year to be in the ACC championship, 11-1 football team. It's pretty obvious he's done a great job, and done a good job recruiting. But I've always really respected Mark Richt. I think he's a great man, first of all, and I think he's a great coach, and I think he's a guy that truly cares about the players and always has, and one of the you know, great men in this business. That so I got nothing but great respect for him, and it's been fun, you know, because I've been around him in recruiting and different things, and like I said, he's always been a very easy guy to deal with, and we've had different conversations along the way, but it's a little different now because I get to be in meetings. We're in meetings together, and so I get to see more of a working side of him, and it's been good. It's been really good.
Are you surprised how quickly he turned things around from when you guys saw him a couple years ago, or did you kind of think they had the talent and everything in place?
No, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, Miami's. I mean, they ain't got to go but about a 30-mile radius, and they got plenty of talent. So that's not an issue. Not surprised at all to see the success he's had.
Coach, given all the losses you had last year on offense from quarterback on out, how do you feel about your offense at this stage of the year as compared to a year ago at this time?
I mean, I feel great. We're 11-1. We've made huge plays in critical times when we've had to have them. It's been a lot of different guys that have made big contributions. I think there was a lot of question marks for us at tight end coming into the season. You know, we lost a really dynamic player in Jordan Leggett, and I think Mylan Richard has really had a heck of a year for us. He's really stepped up, and you know, our receiving core collectively has combined. I mean, it's been fun to see. You know, I think everybody knew Dion and Ray and what their skill set and talent, and they've made big plays. But to see the young guys step up, I mean, DeAndre Overton is a kid that's made big plays for us this year. Amari Rogers is a freshman. T. Higgins is really starting to emerge and come on. Travion Thompson is a critical player for us. Renfro's Renfro. I didn't even mention T.J. Chase and Cornell. So it's been a very good group to see develop, and I think we got guys that are ready to go play at any time. And then our backs, the big thing for me was I thought we would be better at running back and be able to run the football better, a little more balanced running the ball this year. And all those guys have made solid contributions to us. I trust those guys. Kelly was the big question mark, and I think he's done pretty good. I mean, we've played a very difficult schedule. I mean, we've played a tougher schedule this year than we had last year, statistically and all that stuff. So I love where we are. I'm proud of our staff. We found ways to win games, and we had one that got away from us, but it's hard to win 11 games out of 12. So it's been a good year.
I know y'all recruited Travis Etienne because you knew he could play, but did you think it would come on this fast, this strong? Did you have any idea just what you were getting?
Not as much when we recruited him. I knew he was a great talent. He played in a wishbone wing T type of an offense. I mean, you just saw the speed, just the acceleration, kick returns and stuff like that. You saw that, but I had no idea how he would grasp our offense, transition to a traditional offense, as far as all the formations, the alignments, the protections, route running, the whole package. And he's a very bright young man. But once we got into camp, then I knew that if he stayed healthy, he was going to have the type of year that he's had. It was easy for me to see that in camp. It was just a matter of developing him and getting him confident to go and play, other than just handing the ball. And so he's just really matured a lot throughout the year. Tony's done a great job with him.
How's his foot or whatever?
Say that again?
Speaking of Travis, how's he doing? I know he's banged up a little bit the other night.
Oh, he's fine. He's fine.
Say about the depth at linebacker then. I think you've had 4 guys miss time to varying degrees in the last 3 weeks, and you're having to move guys around, and yet you don't really seem like it's stressed that level.
Yeah, I think that's another thing that we talked about back. If you go back to the preseason, one of the things I was excited about was I felt like we all felt like we were going to be really good on defense, but I felt like we were going to have the best competitive depth that we've had. Guys that functional football players. You always hear me say that. Guys that can go in and function and play well. Not guys that just go in there and they're talented, but they're a little dysfunctional. That's a different type of depth. We've had very functional depth, especially at linebacker, and it showed up for us all year. I mean, guys have played well, man. Trey Lamar's been out. I mean, J.D. Davis has led us in tackles at times. He's played great. Judah goes another night, gets a huge stop on 3rd and 2, hits him right smack in the backfield for a loss. Jalen Williams has played great for us this year. Skowski, just kind of waiting for his opportunity, and next thing you know, he's having to start some games and play a lot of snaps. I mean, he's won a player of the game around here. Chad Smith has come on for us. Shaq has improved a ton throughout this season. He's much more prepared to go play. So it's been a blessing, for sure. And it hasn't always been that way. We got a really, really good group of guys that we trust, that can go and, like I said, be functional players for us.
Sometimes a few years ago where you would have been freaked out at the thought of a person in Skowski's role who hadn't played much going down to Columbia and looking like he belongs.
And that's just a reflection of our meetings and our practice. I mean, just the trust that we see from what practice reps, you know, and it's how we practice. I mean, we rep a lot of guys in the spring. I rep a lot of guys in fall camp, and we rep a lot of guys throughout the course of the week. You know, we really do. You know, so especially as guys mature, you know, sometimes it's just a matter of opportunity. I mean, you got guys like we know JD can go play. I mean, JD he knows what he's doing. He's very smart. He runs well. He's big and strong. He's a good tackler, and you know, but Kendall Joseph is just kind of, you know, he's been our starter, and so all of a sudden now Kendall's out for a game or two. Well, we got a guy that we trust, and we see it in practice every day. And we've changed up how we rotate those guys. Some of those guys will work with the twos, and they work with the ones, and so it's developed a lot of confidence. And then just playing guys, something that we committed to early in the season. We just, because they deserve to play, and so we were really committed at a lot of positions to make sure that we played guys to develop the depth that we're going to need at the end to make it throughout the course of the season. And I'm glad that we stayed the course on that, because guys were ready to play. They stayed engaged, they stayed encouraged, they stayed focused, and all of a sudden here now their time was up and they were ready to play.
You still think Trey's going to be day-to-day all the way up until Saturday?
I think so. He's doing a lot better, though. Really encouraged with him.
Over the course of the season, could you kind of see T. Higgins building up to the kind of games he's had the last 2 weeks, and it was kind of a matter of having a breakout performance like he had at the Citadel to where, okay, I can do this?
Yeah, just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. You know, had a few things earlier in the year where just didn't quite work out, you know. And I think the biggest thing with him is just, I always say, getting his sea legs, you know, and that's kind of where he is. Sometimes it just takes a little while to really get comfortable to where the game slows down enough to where you can play fast and play fluid and play with confidence. And that's where he is right now. And yes, absolutely. I've seen it coming all year long. So, unbelievable attitude, great work ethic. He's an excellent teammate. You know, he's a kid that loves to be coached. He likes to learn, and you know, his confidence is really high right now. I mean, he's really come on for us. Whereas Amari, it was a much easier transition for him. You know, if he hadn't got hurt, I mean, he was probably, honest with you, he might have been the best guy the first week of camp, and then he got hurt and missed some time. But his transition was much easier. You know, from the moment he got here, he just looked confident and fluid and fast and technically a little bit more sound than where T was. And then, you know, T's a kid that's just going to continue to get better and develop physically. I mean, kind of like, you know, Overton last year. Overton was just like a giraffe running around out there, you know. I wish we could have redshirted him. But, man, DeAndre's put the work in. And his body has responded, and he's still a young player. DeAndre is really a good football player, and got a bright future. And the combination of him and T, that's going to be fun to watch them two guys, you know, continue to develop.
Dabo, how much of an advantage is it for you guys that so much of your roster has been in games like this and understands what they have to do in order to be successful in games like this?
Yeah, well, I think that the experience for this team that they've had all year is probably more critical than saying, okay, how many guys have been in an ACC championship game? We got some guys that have been in an ACC championship game, but maybe they didn't play a lot. I mean, we've probably got about 12 guys, I think, that have started in an ACC championship game, and I think that's important. But I think it's more what their experience for this team is this year. And so, you know, Miami's been in some big games this year. I know they don't have anybody that's played in the ACC championship game, but every game's a big game. You know, when you're trying to win your division. And I promise you, when they lined up to play Notre Dame, that was a big game. When they lined up to play Florida State, that was a big game. When they lined up to play with Virginia Tech and everything's on the line, that was a big game. So they're all big, and all they've done is respond. Georgia Tech game's about over. They're about to lose. They got to put a drive together. They got to convert a 4th and 11, I think, or whatever. And ball gets tipped. Guy makes play. Got to run out there and make a kick in a critical situation. You know, because all those things matter. So I think even though we've got obviously guys that have played in the ACC championship game and they don't, they've had an unbelievable experience this year. You know, if it was earlier in the year, this was like the kickoff classic. That's different. But where we are right now, I think both teams have been battle tested. Both teams have gained the type of experience that you need and the confidence that you need throughout the course of the year to go and compete at the highest level. So it's great, but I don't think it gives us any type of advantage or anything like that. I mean, I think what gives us the best chance and gives them the best chance, again, is both experiences that we've had. Flip side for us, I mean, playing Auburn, you know, it's a big game. Auburn's pretty good. You know, I know they weren't real good then, I guess, you know, because we won, so they weren't real good. You know, but they're pretty good. I remember coming here saying, hey, boys, that bunch we just beat, they're really good. Really good. And, you know, that kind of proved out to be the case. And so that was a huge game. So the experience. And then we got to go to Louisville. And it's game day. And it's Lamar Jackson. And, you know, can Kelly Bryant complete a pass on the road in that environment? You know, it's a big game. And then we got to go play Virginia Tech, and it's undefeated, and then they bring in Michael Vick and Bruce Smith, and it's a game day, and it's Virginia Tech. How are we going to function? Well, we made it. We've survived. So I think that experience is what matters more than anything else. Kelly ain't playing no ACC championship game. He didn't play in the national championship game. He didn't play a lick. So, you know, what matters is what you've done this year. That's where your confidence comes from. And so, you know, we've only got 6 seniors, so we're a very young team too, and a lot of these guys getting their first experience. But I think both teams are well prepared mentally, physically, emotionally. It's going to come down to a few plays. That's what it comes down to. I mean, execution, taking care of the ball, being the least penalized team, making some type of big play in special teams, and just relentless effort. That's what it comes down to.
Balance